and gentlemen, mesdames de messieurs, a few thank yous that I would like to start with. And first and foremost, I want to thank my wife of 33 years who is here, my wife, Anne. My family is here with me, and actually from Calgary as well. And my daughter Carrie, who most of you have known, has attended just about every function, is busy with exams, and is quite devastated that she couldn't be here. But we're FaceTiming her all the time. She's still having a good time, and I bring her best wishes. Ladies and gentlemen, when I took on the role of president, the first thing I did is called a family meeting and laid everything on the table in terms of where my travel was going to be. And I asked them to take and select where they wanted to go. And this year has been a family affair. And they have traveled with me, and they have learned those interesting things that we can only learn when we broaden our horizons and travel the world and see how others live. It turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful experience for myself and for my family. I want to thank as well the city of Fredericton and the 80,000 residents of Fredericton and my city council. I have 4 members here today that have come to support me, Councillors Hicks, McConaughey, Curtin, and Chase, and a couple of neighboring communities, the neighboring communities of Oromoto and New Maryland, and their members are here today as well. And I also want to pay a special tribute to my executive assistant, who is also the executive assistant of the CEO, Jennifer Goodine, who is also the one who runs CAMA from the Fredericton office. She does all of those 3 things, and I have no idea how she does it, but I never ever want her to leave my side, and in a working relationship only. She has done an amazing, amazing job. Ladies and gentlemen, for my staff and my council and my city, I say thank you very much. You know, when you're out of your community for over 3 months traveling, it takes a very supportive community. And I'm looking forward to being and reconnecting with my community and taking part and participating in so many things that I have missed. I want to thank the Atlantic Mayors Congress. I want to thank staff of the FCM. You hear this all the time, but when you travel with them as president, they're absolutely amazing. And it's not just during the business portions of what we do, but in a social setting afterwards. They never lose the message. And they are truly outstanding in their service to us as members of this wonderful, wonderful organization. So a lot of people have come up to me and said, Brad, what are some of the highlights of your year? Thank you for asking. That's a great question. And it just so happens a lot of the highlights have just taken place in just the last few months. I want to talk about my trip to Colombia and to Peru, where we signed agreements with the presidents down there and met with the ambassadors. But while I was speaking in Colombia, of course, they have a very large trade show and a very, very large delegation of community people. And we were walking through the trade show, which is strategically placed. It takes about 10 minutes to walk through it, but you've got to walk through it, you've got to visit the booths before you can make your presentation to the General Assembly. So I have my translator with me. We're walking through the trade show and having a chat. Now bear in mind, there are wall-to-wall people. You could hardly get through. And then all of a sudden somebody comes up with a couple of tote bags, one to the translator and one to me. I held it, we continued to walk, but you know, being a municipal kind of person, I can only stand it so long. I've got to look at the bag. What is in that bag? So I looked in and I said, what is this? And the translator, it's a lollipop. I said, wonderful. I like lollipops. My mouth was a bit dry. So I'm trying to get into this lollipop, and then all of a sudden I pulled on the stick, and the stick came out, and I said, I can't get into this thing. And she said, let me try. So she grabbed her bag. Meanwhile, we're still walking. I'm still greeting people. Hello, there's the president from Canada. And all of a sudden she hollers out, I mean, she hollers out, "Don't eat it, it's a condom." It's not like I would have. I proceeded, I didn't even look at it. I just kept walking, I turned red, dropped the bag, and got myself out of there. Now see, that's how we've evolved. Not technologically, but that's how we've evolved. I don't even remember a stick of those things. Maybe that's why I had the problems that I had. All right, I digress. The other part of this was actually in Colombia as well. When I had an opportunity to meet the most wonderful people in Colombia and Peru, and of course our friends from Ukraine, I visited there twice, and that is outstanding. But in Colombia, something happened to me that changed me. When I found out that in the 1990s, 500 mayors have been murdered. It's still happening today. I will never, ever forget being in an outdoor mayor's reception, beautiful starlit night, a beautiful breeze, and a very large screen with haunting music. And I stood there and I watched the scrolling of names. And every one of those names was a young elected representative who tried to make their community a better place. No, they weren't voted out of office. They too were murdered. Ladies and gentlemen, as president of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, representing all of you, and to be in this place and to be in that place, it just takes on a whole different meaning when somebody calls me about a pothole. You know, we are so blessed to live in this wonderful country, to have the freedoms that we have. I remember they played the national anthem yesterday at the FIFA World Cup. I got chills. I got chills. And that's how every Canadian should feel about our country. And the international program that we have, and I was at the International Awards the other night commending staff and Sebastian for the job that they do. But ladies and gentlemen, when you get to these countries, when you work with these colleagues from these countries, and you see the challenges that they have, and you come back, first of all, when you do that, you come back a better person. You come back with a better appreciation for your organization, for your staff, and for your country. That's what's great about international programming. It's not the fact that you can travel here or travel there. It's contributing to make their communities as good as they can be. But imagine if you're a young person wanting to do that in Colombia, you are really laying your life on the line. That had a huge, huge impact on me. And it had a huge impact on me as well, and I could never have been prouder to be a Canadian, to know that we are there in other countries sharing our knowledge with them and making friendships that will last a lifetime in places where there is war, deprivation, starvation, all of the above. And we are there to help, municipal hand to municipal hand. Many, many hugs. Very, very emotional. And to see all of our friends from those countries at this conference today, to enjoy this beautiful Edmonton weather and this hospitality, just brings it full circle and makes it all worthwhile. So the other question I've been asked constantly is, what has the year been like? Well, it's been fantastic. My favorite word that I use to describe just about anything that's fantastic is awesome. Was it busy? Absolutely. A lot of airplanes, a lot of airports, a lot of hotels, a lot of trips from here to here to here, all at the same time. But it's something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. My over 30 years of municipal politics sort of culminates with the presidency of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. You have been so good to me, you have been so supportive to me, and you have made this year so memorable. So I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to preside over such a wonderful organization. Yes, I say this a lot, and I'm going to say it again. I love you. Thank you, Merci.